Maybe you tell yourself, I'm not the competitive type. But Aries doesn't think that way. For them, competition isn't about defeating others. It's about testing themselves. Every challenge is personal. Every goal is a chance to prove, not to others, but to themselves, that they can overcome. Aries doesn't fear failure. They fear standing still. They fear stagnation. And that fear pushes them forward. When they lose, they learn. When they win, they don't stop. They look for the next mountain to climb. The next finish line to cross. Maybe you've seen it in sports, in business, or even in relationships. That person who refuses to settle. Who pushes harder. Works longer. Fights stronger. That's Aries energy. It's not about ego. It's about growth. And here's the lesson, competition doesn't have to be ruthless. It can be inspiring. Aries teaches us that the real victory isn't beating others. It's outgrowing who you were yesterday. Now, imagine someone standing next to you. Not just when things are easy, but when life feels impossible. Someone who stays when everyone else leaves. Who fights for you when you can't fight for yourself. That's Aries loyalty. People talk about loyalty like it's a nice quality to have. But for Aries, loyalty is a weapon. A promise. When they choose you, they're all in. They'll defend you. Support you. Stand beside you. Not out of obligation, but out of love. Out of belief in you. But here's the truth. If you betray that loyalty, Aries doesn't forget. Their loyalty, once broken, turns into walls you'll never climb again. Because for Aries, loyalty isn't casual. It's sacred. It's not about small talk and polite gestures. It's about standing in the fire with someone and never letting go. In relationships, in friendships, even in business. Aries loyalty means you can trust them when things get hard. When the road gets dark. They won't run. They won't hide. They'll fight for you. For your dreams. For your worth. And maybe that's the kind of loyalty you've been looking for. So now, think about everything we've uncovered. The magnetic energy that makes Aries unforgettable. The brutal honesty that cuts through confusion. The fierce competitiveness that pushes limits. And the unwavering loyalty that turns connections into unbreakable bonds. But here's the secret. Everything we've explored so far is still only the surface. Because in the final part of this video, we're about to step even deeper into the qualities that most people misunderstand or completely overlook. The last 3 traits of Aries are not just strengths. They are hidden powers. Powers that will challenge how you see Aries, and maybe even how you see yourself. What comes next might be the most important lesson of all. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to stay hopeful, even when everything around them falls apart? While others sink into negativity, they keep moving forward, like they know something the rest of us don't. That's Aries. But their optimism isn't simple. It's not just smiling when life gets hard. It's a deep choice. A survival instinct. For Aries, believing in the future is a strategy. It's how they fight fear. Imagine failing again and again. Most people give up. They think, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this isn't meant for me. But Aries doesn't think that way. When they fall, they get up. Not because they don't feel pain, but because they believe the next attempt might be the one that changes everything. That's the power of their optimism. It's not about ignoring reality. It's about refusing to let setbacks define them. And this isn't just about Aries. This is about you. How many times have you let disappointment close your heart? How many times have you walked away too soon? Aries reminds us that hope isn't a feeling. It's a choice. A conscious decision to keep walking, even when you can't see the end of the road. But hope alone isn't enough. Aries pairs it with something even more powerful: adaptation. Life changes. We know that. But many people resist it. They cling to what they know, even when it no longer serves them. Aries doesn't. Aries moves with life. They adjust. They pivot. They adapt. Not because they like change, but because they understand that change is inevitable. Fighting it only leads to pain. Think about a time your plans fell apart. Did you panic? Did you freeze? Or did you adapt? Aries teaches us that survival belongs to the flexible. When something breaks, they don't waste energy complaining. They focus on the next move. On finding a new path forward. Because standing still never solves the problem. Adaptation isn't weakness. It's intelligence. It's the inner knowing that control is an illusion, but progress is always possible. And that mindset gives Aries an edge in a world that shifts every day. Maybe it's a mindset you need too. Stop resisting change. Embrace it. Learn from it. Let it lead you somewhere new. But what happens when life hits you so hard that moving forward feels impossible? This is where Aries shows us something few people expect. Resilience. Real, unbreakable resilience. While others crumble, Aries endures. They bend but never break. Their secret? They don't view failure as the end. They see it as a challenge. A test. An opportunity to grow stronger. Have you ever watched someone rebuild themselves after losing everything? That's resilience. Not being untouched by pain, but refusing to let pain define the story. Aries doesn't waste time in self-pity. They don't tell themselves they're victims. They ask one question: what now? And maybe that's a question you should start asking too. When something falls apart. What now? When someone betrays you, what now? When life says no, what now? Aries reminds us that resilience isn't about having all the answers. It's about choosing to keep moving. Even when you don't. But their resilience isn't cold or emotionless. It's fueled by something raw. Something personal. A deep fire that refuses to die, no matter how long the night lasts. And that's why Aries survives. That's why they rise again, stronger than before. And then there's something else. Something that most people overlook. The entrepreneurial spirit of Aries. At first glance, you might think it's just about business. Starting companies. Chasing success. But it's much deeper than that. For Aries, entrepreneurship is a way of life. It's about seeking new possibilities. Constantly. It's about creating opportunities where others see dead ends. They don't wait for doors to open. They build the door themselves. They explore paths no one else dares to try. And when those paths fail, they find another. It's not about money. It's about freedom. About shaping life on their own terms. Have you ever wanted to start something new, but fear held you back? Fear of failing. Fear of being judged. Fear of wasting time. Aries feels that fear too. But they don't let it control them. They take the risk. They bet on themselves. And that's something each of us can learn from. Innovation isn't a skill you're born with. It's a mindset you build. Every day, Aries chooses to think beyond limits. To challenge norms. To try what's never been tried. And that spirit, that hunger to explore, is what keeps them ahead. So, as we reach this point, let's pause for a moment. Think about everything we've uncovered so far. The hope that fuels forward motion. The adaptability that turns change into opportunity. The resilience that transforms failure into strength. And the entrepreneurial spirit that creates new realities from nothing. These are not just personality traits. They are tools. Tools that Aries uses to shape their life. And you can use them too. But don't think this journey is over. Because what comes next may be the most surprising, the most controversial, and the most powerful lessons in this entire video. In the final 3 secrets of Aries, we'll explore the hidden forces that explain not just how they act, but why they act. Forces that drive their deepest instincts and reveal the emotional truth behind their unstoppable energy. Get ready. Because the final revelations will challenge everything you thought you knew. There's something about Aries that many people misunderstand. It's their need to change things, to question the rules, to challenge the system. People often see this as stubbornness or rebellion. But for Aries, it's something deeper. It's a refusal to accept limits that don't make sense. Aries doesn't believe in "that's just how it is." They believe in asking why not. This change-making instinct isn't just about breaking things for the sake of breaking them. It's about creating something better. Aries looks at the world and sees what's missing, what's broken, what could be improved. And instead of waiting for someone else to fix it, they start. They take the first step, even if it's messy, even if no one else believes in them. Think about your own life. How many times have you held back from questioning something just because it felt safer to follow the crowd? How many dreams have you buried because they seemed too different, too risky? Aries reminds us that progress never happens by playing it safe. If you want to build a life that feels true, sometimes you have to be the one who dares to disrupt. But with all this boldness, all this drive, you might wonder, what gives Aries the strength to keep going? To face every obstacle head-on? The answer is simple. And it's something you might not expect. It's their warrior spirit. Being a warrior doesn't mean fighting everyone around you. It means fighting for yourself, fighting for your future, and sometimes fighting your own fears. Aries carries this spirit deep inside. It's what lets them stand back up when life knocks them down. It's what pushes them to face challenges that would stop most people. Have you ever felt like giving up? Like the weight was just too heavy? Aries feels that too. But their warrior spirit tells them, keep moving. Not because the battle is easy, but because they know giving up costs more. This spirit isn't about aggression. It's about courage. The courage to keep showing up, to keep believing, to keep creating, even when the odds feel impossible. Aries doesn't believe in impossible. They believe in possible, after you've refused to quit long enough. And maybe that's the lesson we all need. So, what does all this mean for you? Whether you're an Aries yourself, or you just recognize this energy in someone you know, or maybe you're realizing you've carried this fire inside you all along. What matters isn't the zodiac sign. What matters is the mindset. The choice. The choice to lead with courage, not fear. To trust your instincts. To act before doubt steals your chance. To tell the truth, even when it's hard. To keep walking, even when the road disappears. To shape your life, instead of waiting for someone else to do it for you. Aries teaches us that bravery isn't about being fearless. It's about being willing to move forward, even when you're scared. And that is something every single one of us can choose. So if you've seen yourself somewhere in this video today, if a part of you whispered, "That's me," then don't ignore it. That voice inside you matters. And if this message touched something in you, share it. Maybe you know someone who needs to hear these words. Someone who's been stuck too long. Or someone who forgot how strong they really are. And if you're ready to keep exploring, if you're ready to dive deeper into the energies that shape us all, then subscribe. Because there's so much more waiting for you in the next videos. Stories, lessons, truths, that might just help you see yourself in a new way. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Keep your fire burning. And remember, sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is simply refuse to stop.